officially halfway through the Padres season. What's one word to describe this team so far? John Safer said Jim. And for anyone that knows John and Jim, we joke around on social media. And so I replied, so not great, but not terrible, because I like to rag on Jim a little bit. And that's what this Padres team is. That's why I said that as well. Like, so not great, because they're not having the Yankees record or the Orioles, the best team, the Phillies record. That's probably the best example. But they're not the Rockies. They're not the A's. They're not the Marlins. They're not in last, right? They're in the playoff hunt. So mid is what a lot of fans described it as, and I agree with that, because literally their record is 500, and their record yesterday was one game over 500. The Hoax says Gutty. MIG says consistently losing, consistent ... losing, which isn't the case, because if they were consistently losing, they would not be at 500, or in that case yesterday, one game over 500. Michael Valenzuela says perseverance, sticking through injuries. Okay. Pretty Not Lieb says average. Ryan Smith says average. Conrad says average. James says average. David says mediocre. And yeah, I mean, all of these, like, I can point to positive signs with this team, but still say they're average, because that's what they are. But again, like I said earlier in the show, I don't care if they're an average team. If I see positive signs and they make the postseason and they're playing good baseball through the last, few weeks of the season and going into the postseason, that's what I care about. As much as I'd like to win the NL West, which would be cool, because that would mean that the Dodgers don't have that, what I care about most is winning in the postseason, getting there and then winning, because that's what we remember. We don't remember, remember that 94 win Padres team? If they didn't win the World Series, then is there a whole lot to talk about there? And even if they win 83 games and they get in and they go win. Now, Padres fans will remember the regular season win total, because we'll probably bring it up a bunch. Remember that 83 win team that won the World Series or went to the World Series? But regardless, just teams around baseball in the past, you win 84 games and you go on a World Series run. Do we remember, they didn't win the division, though? No, we don't care. We remember their postseason run that they went on. So that's what I care about the most. Paul says, this isn't one word, but inconsistent yet gritty, and love that the guys are picking each other up. Yes, even if it wasn't one word, that was good. Yeah, inconsistent, gritty, though. They've come back at a better rate than last year's team, obviously, and they are picking each other up. It does feel different. It feels like this team does love each other. I'm not saying there wasn't any of that last year. I'm just saying that I can see the difference in this year's team compared to last year's team. Doug says, likable. I hated this team last year. No heart in them. At least this year they have some fight, and the vibes are way better. Totally, totally good. That's a great point there. A great reply there. Alex says, roller coaster. Schilt. Don't say that to Schilt. 619 Boogie Down says inconsistent, and then he posted an image that had the 98 Padres logo, but instead of San Diego on it, Padres baseball, it's now that's what I call Padresing. So there's some of that in the fan base as well. Like, not surprising. This is who they are. Charles says underachievers. There are some that are saying bipolar. I mean, that's them, not me. Daddy Umpire, Go Padres, says unstoppable. They're stoppable in some games. But yeah, a lot of inconsistent. Andres says consistently inconsistent. Warren commented the GIF with Elmo shrugging, like, they're okay. And that's what they've been. Record-wise, which is what we care about the most, that's what they are.